Let's eat Grandma. Hang on, that sentence doesn't sound right. It should read, let's eat, Grandma. Hi there, it's Shannon, and you're watching Yay English, your channel for all your English questions. Today, we are continuing our series on punctuation. Punctuation is the marks we use in writing to help readers understand what we mean. Today's topic is more comma uses. Just to review, a comma is a mark that adds a pause to a sentence, and it looks like this. By the end of today's lesson, you will know what commas are and you will know how to use them. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. In our previous lesson, we learned about the first 3 uses for the comma. But just to review, the first use for a comma is to separate items in a list. For example, Alfred bought broccoli, comma, carrots, comma, peppers, comma, and spinach. The second use for a comma is to go before a conjunction in a compound sentence. For example, Grace was cold, comma, so she put on a jacket. And the third use for a comma is to go after an introductory word or phrase. For example, before the party, comma, we bought decorations. All right, now that we have reviewed the first 3 comma uses, let's learn 3 more uses today. Imagine you wanted to send a letter in the mail. Do you know how to address the envelope? The 4th comma use is to separate the street from the city and the city from the state. For example, Greg lives at 554 Flowers Street, comma, Orlando, comma, Florida. If the sentence continues after saying the state, add another comma. For example, we visited Houston, comma, Texas, comma, last summer. And the 5th use for the comma is to separate days from years. For example, Joe was born July 10th, comma, 2002. And if the sentence continues, after the year, put another comma. For example, Abraham Lincoln was born February 12th, comma, 1809, comma, in a log cabin. And the 6th use for the comma is to show who you're talking to. This comma can go before their name. Thanks for the help, comma, Josh. It can go after the name. Ava, comma, could you help me carry these bags? Or it can go before and after the name. I don't know, comma, Lily, comma, I'll think about it. All right, now that you've learned about some more comma uses, let's put our knowledge to the test. I am going to show you some sentences, and it's up to you to determine where the commas belong. It's time to step it up. Here's your first one. The wedding will be held on January 18th, 2025. The comma goes after 18. We use commas to separate days from years. Here's your next one. Taylor was born in Phoenix, Arizona. The comma goes after Phoenix. We use commas to separate cities from states. If you got that one right, hit that like button. How about this one? Wendy, is this your backpack? The comma goes after Wendy. We use commas to show who we're talking to. And here's your last one. Troy lives at 16 Rose Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia. sentence needs 2 commas. First, we need to separate the street address from the city. So put a comma after avenue. And then we need to separate the city from the state. So put a comma after Atlanta. Good job! Now you know more about the comma and you know how to use it. Now I want to hear from you. In the comments, write some example sentences that use the comma uses from today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on a new video. I'll see you next time on Yay English! Bye!